Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? Had an idea that you were very passionate about and wanted to share it with the world? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions too. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show into all the apps people like to listen to? How do I make money on my podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. Anchor's been really easy to use. I can create, edit, and distribute my podcast seamlessly. The experience has been great, and I can't believe I waited this long to start a podcast. So if you always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. Can't wait to hear your podcast. Welcome, friends, to the 228 podcast. My name is Patrick, and this is my journey through building a business. Happy New Year, everybody. Yeah, I was off of my main gig for New Year's Eve and New Year's. It only happens about once every, 10 years. So I took full advantage of it and pretty much stayed home and stayed away from the crazy people that are out and about and driving drunk and all that good stuff, celebrating the festivities. So Happy New Year. Better late than never. And it's going to be a great year. I can't wait to share all the things that are happening or are going to happen or I'm working on in the process of. And today is no different. I had a great conversation with a person, which leads me to the topic of tonight's podcast. The number one thing that you can do when you're building a business. It's not sales, even though sales always solve everything. It's a little deeper than that, a little bit what software people call meta. It's building relationships, and not just relationships, but business relationships, So I'll give you a little, hint or how things have progressed with hydrosilix. He called it hydrosilix. So the guy that my sales rep at hydrosilix, his name is Neil, and he has a daughter. And both of our kids were sick about a month or two ago with the same crud. Neil has been great with me. I have yet to do solid business with him because I don't have the capital to make the initial purchase, and they have two orders. They have a distributorship and they have a wholesale. But you can help by supporting the podcast, and everything goes to 228, which is my shameless plug. But on the topic of business relationship, Neil and I have talked and spoke and kicked ideas back and forth, and that didn't cost any money. I got to know him, and lo and behold, he got promoted in the company, which is significant. So after the new year, I shot Neil an email, wishing him a happy New Year's Eve, just to keep him fresh on my mind. I don't want I don't want to be like a flash in the pan. Oh, I'm gonna do it. I've never said that. I've told him I'm working on it. He knows I'm working on things. He knows that I've got pre-orders set up through Tri-Celery, and if you would like to purchase pre-orders, I do have those available. I don't have the link in the show notes, but if you go to the Facebook page at 228, the link is there. I also have the link on my Instagram account, which is at 228 LLC, and that's TWOTWENTY 8 LLC. But through this whole period in time, we've built a good relationship with each other, and he actually called me today, a couple days after I emailed him, and I missed his phone call, so I called him back, and we had a great discussion, and we talked about things and what I'm doing to get things in order, to be a rep for them or with them, and he's back. Hey, any support that I need or anything that I may need help with, they're there to help. So that's a great feeling. I'm not in it to just sell products and make money. I'm in it to build the relationships that come with the products. I'm in it because my name is going to be on the front door, and it's going to be me on the line. They're not going to go back to Hydrosilix or Hydrosilix and complain with them. It's me. So I got to make sure that everything is right and in line, and these guys are on the up and up about what they're doing with their business, what they're doing with their products, what they're doing with their support for the products. I'm not going to sell some wax in a can and it not perform as they say. Those guys are building a great a product. It's been on a lot of detailers' list. Pan, the organizer, Jimbo, and the Auto Detailing Podcast, which is a great podcast. And if you don't haven't subscribed to it, it's the Auto Detailer Podcast. It's just, that's what it's all about. It's about building the relationships. That way, and staying fresh on somebody's mind. That way they say, hey, they may refer me to somebody else that has another great product. Or I might refer them to something that they may be missing in their lineup, or maybe they're having shipping issues, or maybe they are having packaging issues, or just whatever. We can bounce ideas off of each other. We can solve problems together if they need some outside help, and that's what it's all about. That's what's going to keep you in business. That's what's going to help you progress in your business. I'll tell you another conversation that Neil and I had. Their product, people are leaving the bottles in their car. Now, Hydrosilix Recharge can be frozen, but it can only be frozen one time, because after that, if you freezes more than once, the chemicals inside of Recharge, they start to separate, and the dye tends to separate, and they don't recombine. So that's something I didn't know of, and we really don't have much freezing down here in South Mississippi, but I mean, that's something to know about the product, that, hey, this can be frozen one time if it's left in a car, but after that, if you freeze it again, it's pretty much lost. So, these products aren't cheap, but they're not expensive either. They're kind of middle $20-ish products. I think the Marine is a little bit more. I think it's $89. But the Recharge and the Rewind and the Slick, I mean, those things come at a price point anywhere from $20 to $53. But they're great products, they're on everybody's list, and it's good to know those things when you're dealing with the supplier, or you're dealing with your brand or manufacturer, So But always keep that in mind. You're not out to make a buck. You're out to build a relationship. The relationship will be much sweeter than the quick dollar that you're trying to make. So your vendors, your suppliers, the people that you're doing business with, do more than business with them. Be personable with these people. Find out their name. Find out if they're married. Find out if they have kids. Little things about who they are and what they're about. Because people will give you verbal diarrhea about their whole life if you just sit there and talk to them, and not spill your guts about your own life. People like to talk about themselves. And in business, people like to talk about their business. So, let them. Be that ear, make that connection, make those notes, do all you can to be as personable as possible, because later on down the line, those relationships could pay off to benefit you or to benefit somebody else. Who knows how that works out. But as long as you maintain those business relationships, stay fresh and relevant on people's mind, your business will grow, your business will take off, and you will have a great foundation of business as you move forward in building your business. So that's kind of my spiel for today. Make business relationships, not just business, and you'll find yourself highly successful. Until tomorrow night, I love you guys. Thank you for listening. And by the way, if you'd like to be a sponsor of this podcast, I did open up sponsorships. You can sponsor this podcast for, I think, 99 cents a month is the lowest the lowest tier. Guys, look, and gals, everything that any support that I get for this project goes to 228. I'm trying to build something really pretty awesome. And if you're into cars, I wish you guys were all in South Mississippi to meet you. But, we have Cruising the Coast at the end of October, end of September, beginning of October. Scraping the Coasts in June. I hope to be there with 228, with Hydrosolics, and just meeting a whole bunch of people in the car industry. I'm really looking forward to that. So everything goes to 228 and building that out and getting going. So anyway, thank you for listening. Your support is welcome. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.